All right, welcome to the Not Move podcast, Broncos edition. We're going to be breaking down the Denver Broncos off-season moves, pretty much all things Broncos. During the week, we've been breaking down Eagles, Cowboys. We did the Seahawks. There was a bunch of different ones. We got the Ravens coming up. We got a lot of good teams that we're locking into and breaking down each fan and each team and what the prediction's going to be and what they saw during the offseason. So just to kick it off, Southgate, longtime Bronco fans, I know that I've been watching the Broncos since early 90s. I was born in 86. I'm 38, so I've been watching the Broncos for quite a bit of time. I know you've been watching them longer than me. I did get to witness three Super Bowls. I did get to see the back-to-backs, and I did get to see us win that Super Bowl in 2015, Super Bowl 50. So just comparing some of those old school teams to kind of where we're at today, it's nice to be relevant again. I think like through the years, we've had a long stint since those Peyton Manning years, 2013 through 15. We had great teams that went to the Super Bowl, and we are back to being relevant and back to being a playoff team. So it's nice to have. It's also really nice to not have to worry about the quarterback position. You agree with that?
I agree 100%. I'm very happy that it looks like because he was only a rookie that Bo Nix will be our franchise quarterback going forward, and that makes me very happy.
And just 10 wins as a rookie, and finally having not being able to taste the playoffs after being such a great team for so many years and finally being back in the playoffs, it was a great feeling. And like I said, it's nice to have a little bit of room to talk. Before, we were definitely more of like a poverty franchise, even though we're used to being a winner and winning championships. I kind of want to just break down first some of the key free agent acquisitions. Obviously, we had Dre Greenlaw. We'll hit on him first. Um, Obviously, if he's healthy, he is going to stack our defense even more. I think he got tired of being in Fred Warner's shadow, and he wanted to be the main linebacker on a defense and quit living in Fred Warner's shadow. Again, the big thing is his injuries, but if he is healthy, he definitely can be a top 10 to 15 linebacker. What do you think about Greenlaw, Southgate?
I'm very happy with the acquisition, especially having a linebacker that could go out in coverage as well. Um, that I'm really looking forward to. Like again, you said the whole point is staying healthy, but we know how bad San Francisco's medical facilities are. Denver is second to none compared to that. So I don't know. Have you heard anything on the tricep train? Or
It sounds like all signs point to him being ready to go. He is not going to miss any time.
so no training camp, no nothing. But
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like we're good. We're a good go on all that.
a guy like Greenlaw. I mean, he's such a veteran. I don't even know if he could just go through the motions in training camp.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like as long as you can throw him out on the field and he's going to be ready to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Now, I want to touch on our other signing from San Fran, which is Nafunga.
Mhm.
I mean, he had that rookie year where he balled out, but is there going to be a lot of rust on him? That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, exactly. Both players didn't play the full season for San Francisco. I think Hufanga, I think if he can return to what he was, I feel like our defense is going to get even nastier. He likes to come up, play at the line of scrimmage. He likes to hit. That physical play is something I really like, but on the opposite side of that, it comes with injury. So, I think it was a reinsurance policy, right? So before last year, like with last year's safety crew, we had Brandon Jones and we had PJ Locke. Now, PJ Locke was dealing with an injury as well, right? So I think Hufanga was the insurance policy for PJ Locke because we were not quite sure. It looks like he will play. Obviously, he's going to be playing like a backup spot now to Hufanga. So I
Yeah,
feel like the Hufanga signing was definitely to upgrade the defense, but it was also an insurance policy for PJ Locke.
yeah. I mean, like I said, if we could get what he was 2 years ago, his rookie season, I mean, that's just going to open it up for the whole defense because once that coverage gets better, it's going to open up coverage sacks as well,
Right.
or quarterback pressures and everything. It's. I'm very interested. I actually kind of feel bad for Cam Ward that he's got to go into Denver week 1.
Oh yeah, I think we're all looking forward to that. The other we have another two big ones I think we need to hit on, and that's Evan Ingram. That tight end position definitely needed to be upgraded. Adam Troutman, like what did we have before we got Evan Ingram? You know what I mean? So anything is going to be an upgrade. Again, health is going to be a concern, but to get a safety valve for Bo Nix, I think is going to be huge. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it also gives them the opportunity with how awful that running game was to run more two tight end sets.
Yep,
You know,
exactly.
so especially talking about the offensive line and the tight end, but Ingram, I think, I mean, all know rookies love to go to their tight ends. So, as an insurance policy. So, even as the second year, when the league makes adjustments to Bo Nix, he'll at least have that much better tight end to rely on.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge upgrade. We definitely needed more depth at tight end, and I think if Evan Ingram can be just a shell of what he was, I feel like we are definitely are going to be better in that tight end room. The other one, obviously, was J.K. Dobbins. Now, I know originally when we talked about this, you weren't huge on J.K. Dobbins. Um, we got the injury history. I know I'm like sound like a broken record, but J.K. Dobbins before he got hurt, he was toting that rock pretty well for the Chargers.
You know what? I actually looked more into his numbers and I spoke before I looked, like I always do.
Yeah,
But, you know, I just sometimes I come out of my heart.
yeah,
And even in Baltimore, his yards per carry were very good when healthy. I
yeah,
mean, maybe because he was always hurt, I just gave him a bad nod.
yeah,
But when he's healthy, he's always averaging 4.7, 4.8, 5 yards a carry. So,
yep.
I mean, now the NFL toted us the top 3 offensive line in football. If it's really that good, he could do some serious damage.
And like before, when Peyton was here, we obviously had offensive line concerns, but now like our offensive line is up there with some of the best in the league. We got Ben Powers, Quinn Miners, we got Garrett Bowles. I mean, Mike McGlinchey. That offensive line has really turned around, has been really solidified over the last couple seasons, and you've seen it. If they were able to keep Bo Nix upright, he was able to actually run with that offense and win 10 games and make it to the playoffs. So I think the offensive line being a plus right now is huge. You've seen, and like Coach Common always tells us all the time, you got a bad offensive line, it's going to show, and I think we saw that with a lot of teams. But if you have a good offensive line, and along with our defense, like we were saying earlier, we have one of the top defenses and one of the top offensive lines in the league. I feel like with those two things alone, I feel like they're going to keep us in games.
Actually, let me ask you, Train, what do you think the split will be to start between Harvey and Dobbins?
Yeah,
Like,
that's going to be very interesting. And then you got Estime, and I feel like Estime might, they're definitely going to be splitting carries. So, oh man, is it really going to be a 50-50, or are you thinking more like a 60-40? I feel like RJ Harvey got drafted in that spot to tote the rock a little bit more. You know what I mean? And
I
now with Dobbins and Estime, I feel like Harvey will get majority of the carries. What are you thinking?
I gotta see how was I know he wants to use Harvey like a Kamara type of back, but I
Right.
also gotta see how good he is in pass protection.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be a big thing that we're going to have to see. Out of the three major running backs that we have on the depth chart, we're going to see who's going to be the better blocker, who's going to be able to catch balls out of the backfield,
Yeah.
and I think that's actually having three backs like that. I feel like that's definitely going to save J.K. Dobbins too, because he's not going to be expected to be the workhorse.
I want to see if Harvey can come up and chip that blitzing linebacker and then roll off him and catch the screen.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that would be huge. If we can just have an extra guy to give Bo Nix a little bit of extra time, I feel like that's going to be huge. And then, like, just spinning off that, I'll just talk about some of the key additions that in the draft. So obviously, we already hit on R.J. Harvey. I definitely went back and watched some film on him, and his highlights in college are pretty unreal. I was very impressed with his highlight reel from college. Have you looked kind of at some of his college tape?
Yes, I have, and his pass catching out of the backfield is really amazing. And
Exactly.
he actually has what I love. It's not even the speed; it's the burst through the hole. Is what I love about it. He's got that. There's running backs that have speed. There's running back. He just hits the hole so hard. I
And
mean,
I feel like the Broncos definitely nailed this draft because very first round we went Jahdae Barron, right? We went corner, right?
yep.
And he was definitely one of the top available corners in the draft. I going leading up into the drafts, I was doing mock drafts, talking to all the guys obviously about who I think is going to be, our pick at that position or at that spot in the draft. And I thought it was definitely going to be Omarion Hampton. Now, when Jahdae Barron was picked, I definitely got excited because I think we might be returning back to that 2015 no-fly zone.
I could definitely see that. I did not see them going corner in the first. I thought they were going receiver or running back for sure.
Right, me too.
Yeah, I 100% I seen that, but I actually really liked the kid Pat out of Illinois. I went back and watched his tape
Yeah.
on Illinois. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's going to be able to go across the middle all day long. He is so big bodied, and his hands are unbelievable.
Yeah, I get asked a lot what my thoughts were on that. And you had even talked to James White, former running back of the New England Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, and he was telling you like to look out for this guy, huh?
He actually told me that this year coaching at Illinois, and last year he was just helping around there,
Yeah,
and said he was the first one in the film room, the first one in the gym. He said the kid is a worker.
right.
He's thing he's lacking, we will learn and work to get better. He said the kid is completely dedicated.
And we've been talking a lot about that receiver core. I think Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, and then obviously addition of Pat Bryant. I think that's huge. Uh, I don't know. I get mixed opinions on Cortland Sutton. I definitely hear a lot that he's like top 15. He could be a top 15 wide receiver. Um, he's been consistent even with bad quarterback play, and I think he was definitely a security blanket for Bo Nix. What did you think of Cortland up to this point?
I have no problem with Colton. He's been getting the job done, and if you could fly under the radar and get it done, so be it. If let the defensive coordinators not concentrate on him and let him burn them. That's what I say. If no one thinks he's top 15, top 20, he's going to get the job done. We all know Cortland Sutton has the ability to do it.
Right, and I think, man, like what Marvin Mims definitely made a big step. I feel like he made a big leap this last season, especially that one play that really stands out in my head is that touchdown against the Bengals late in the season. That amazing catch he made on two defenders.
Yes.
And that was definitely has what stuck in my head up to this point. He also is a great return specialist. He's fast as shit, and I feel like he definitely is what we've needed at that other wide receiver position. So if Pat Bryant can definitely pan out and be, we have Vele even, like Vele, he played pretty good last year. I think our receiver core is pretty good. I feel like we are definitely like still another piece away. It would have been really nice to snag T. Higgins. I know obviously the Bengals probably weren't going to let him go. And then what did he get? 28 mil. So maybe that really wasn't in the budget, but it would have been nice to have one more wide receiver. I think that's definitely why they went and drafted a receiver. What do you think of our receiver core as a whole?
I don't think it's that bad. I think we're covered at all three levels as long as Pat can play.
Yeah,
If Pat can play like I was told he can by someone who actually seen him, and and if he transfers over, I know he don't run the fastest 40. He only ran a 4.65, but so did Jerry Rice.
yep,
It's about separation and route running. If he could be that type of receiver, I think we're covered in the short, medium, and long game. I mean,
right,
we have the best trio in the league, but it's a comparable trio.
yeah. And we still have Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen sitting out there in free agency. But I honestly think the Broncos might be good. Like we said, I think they might be good at wide receiver. I personally would have liked to seen maybe one more, acquisition. But I think just on paper right now, it looks like it's enough to get the job done.
Well, did you see that guy they drafted last? I forget his name. They took him in the last round. He was a basketball player. He's like 6'9".
Yeah, the tight end.
Yes, he had 4 catches for 4 touchdowns in college.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, if he can just hop up and catch the ball in the end zone in the red zone, I think that's a good spot to be in. Like if we can capitalize, you got to hit on the draft. I think like looking at back at some of these teams that really actually played well, like the Eagles, they hit on all their draft picks, right? That's just one step. People, you got to stay healthy. You got to hit on your draft picks. Your veterans got to play good. All the pieces have to come together, obviously.
I, I,
So I think that just on paper, I'm really happy with how our offense looks. I feel like you compare our offense to a lot of other teams in the league. I don't think we look that shabby.
what scares me the most is when everyone starts picking us, which I see everyone doing.
So, and that's the thing is like Bag said that we're going to win the division. I mean, I've heard multiple people we
Well,
talk to on a daily basis say that we're going to win the division. And it scares me because we haven't done that in quite a bit of time. And we are getting a lot of off-season hype. Like
now,
I know you feel it, right? You hear it every day just like
yeah,
I do. We are getting a lot of off-season
I
season hype.
actually try and ignore it. I try and downplay it because I don't, I'm a very superstitious guy. I don't like jinxing my team.
Right.
But I was looking, I mean, even if we make it, because I'm not, I'm hoping a playoff spot, maybe second round of the playoffs. I would be happy with that. I would be very happy with that. And
Right.
next year we're completely out of Russell's contract, and we got 81 million in cap space.
Right. And we've definitely rebound from that. And that's kind of like the thing, like with the 49ers. The 49ers got lucky because even though they gave up a lot of draft capital and they gave up a lot to try to get Trey Lance to be their franchise quarterback and it didn't pan out, they were able to rebound and draft Brock Purdy. And I think that's kind of what happened with the Broncos. I've seen the Broncos kind of rebound from that Russell Wilson deal because that really definitely I thought was going to put us back for years to come. But
Yeah.
them being able to draft Bo Nix, and to me, it's like night and day. I don't know if you remember, like the shouting match that Russ and Peyton had on the sideline, on Sean Payton had on the sideline a couple years ago.
I remember.
Yeah, and then we had the one this year, right, with Bo Nix and Sean Payton, and it was a lot different of an interaction between the two. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but Bo Nix got better after that shouting match.
Yeah, and that was the thing is I want a quarterback. It might not look the best, and a coach and a quarterback, a starting quarterback, are going to argue and they're going to fight maybe on the sidelines a little bit. But I like to see that passion and that. I saw passion in Bo Nix's eyes when he was arguing with Sean Payton, and
It,
even again when the Bengals game, he wanted to go for two.
Listen, it shows a will to win. And
Yep.
out of Peyton Manning, how many Hall of Famers have we seen him yell at on the sideline?
And like with Russell Wilson, man, Russell Wilson just sat there like a shell and just took all that ass chewing, from Sean Payton.
Yep, I agree. I agree with
And Bo Nix, do you remember when Bo Nix got fiery in the Raiders game too?
you. Yes.
And he said, "I fear no one." You remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what I want out of my starting quarterback. I like to see that fire. I like to see that passion, and I think we got our guy now. And I couldn't be happier that Bo Nix is a Denver Bronco.
And he has played through injury, so he's shown that. He didn't even complain about it. He didn't even bring it up till after the season.
Yep.
No, he
Can you
gave.
imagine? Can you imagine if we get a full? If he wasn't at full health, could you imagine what this guy is going to be at full health?
I'm very excited. Now, it is the second season, so it is the League of Adjustments.
Right.
So, little step backwards, I'm not going to be mad. I just don't want to see a 180 or a 360.
Right, exactly. And I know like a lot of people have broke down their win loss for our team, and personally I think we're going to improve by one game. I see us winning 11 games. I don't see us skyrocketing to 13 wins quite yet. I'm going to give us one more game. I'm going to go 11.
Well, I've spoken to you about this. I try and keep it between 9 and 11. I don't know why the Chargers have our number.
Yeah,
I
they swept us last season.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, it's
that's my worry is can we get past that Charger team? They swept us last year, and the Chargers always play good against Kansas City too, but they always end up winding up finding a way to lose the game.
right.
2 years ago was the missed extra point. I mean, I just don't get it, but I think if we can take one against the Chargers, we could get to 11.
And I think that we have added, especially on like the defensive side and especially on the offensive side, I think we have added and we've improved and we haven't taken a back, like we haven't downgraded. We haven't lost an awful lot during the off season and we've gained more in my
Well,
opinion.
here's your question, Train. How do you think that London game is going to affect us in Week 4?
Well, and you keep constantly telling me that, and I don't break it down quite as much, and I should. That travel time, and when you're going from East Coast to West Coast, and when you're traveling, especially from a different country, I usually don't look into stuff like that, and you've definitely brought that to my attention because you remember the 3 games in a row. We have to go from. Do you remember? We have to
From
go. Go ahead.
Coast to London and then back to Philly for Week 5.
Right. So we're
Yeah,
going from Mountain Time Zone to another country to Philly.
to Philly, yes.
See that? Yeah, and I think
I,
that's going to tell us a lot about our team, right?
I mean, thank God we're only playing the Jets in London, but we don't know what the Jets could be yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not high on the Jets right now. I'm not moved by the Jets
No,
personally, but I mean that Eagles game with that travel, it's going to tell us a lot about our team.
yes, 100%. I mean, I don't expect us to win that game, but I think with the travel, if we could be competitive, then I'm going to be really happy.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I just kind of was talking to a guy earlier today, and he was talking about the Broncos and some of the players that we have that he doesn't see quite as they don't get like the recognition, and a lot of times they get overshadowed by other players, and that's like players like Zach Allen, Brandon Jones, Jonathan Cooper, DJ Jones, and Nick Benito. Now I think Nick Benito made a huge step last season. Obviously,
Actually, yeah, Mitch brought Benito up to me and asked me how I felt about him. I told him I loved him, and he felt he was being, undervalued and everything about that also. But
because he did get an All Pro, right?
yes,
So he did get his recognition, and All Pros tell a lot about a player, but he doesn't get talked about a lot. You know what I mean?
no, he's definitely not a household name. I mean, is it because Satan is so popular on that defense? Maybe with the
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. We got the running defensive player of the year, the Depoy PS2, and I mean, everyone knows who PS2 is. He's everyone's number one cornerback in the league. So maybe it's just some of these other guys just don't shine quite as bright because we got such a dominant outside force in PS2.
I, I think if you got somebody with a 17, 18 sack season, they're gonna shine just as bright as PS2.
Right, exactly.
That
Um,
people are gonna start knowing our defensive players as like household names.
right. And then when you add depth like we did, like adding Jade Barron, Riley Moss, he got banged up, right? Do you remember when he was out for a couple games and he
Yeah,
got banged up for a little while? Jerry Jeudy got ate up our third string corner, our fourth string corner.
worst day of my life.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think like that depth towards the end of the year, it definitely hurt us. And if it matters, like that Cincinnati game somewhat mattered because we were probably still going to make the playoffs even if we lost that game. But it was a very important game, and the Browns game, good thing it didn't come down to that. Like there's some games towards the end of the season when your team's banged up and you need to have that depth. And I think the Broncos definitely addressed that this season.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. Like I said, and you said it too, maybe one more receiver, but I'm not ready to give Keenan Allen that bag. I know that's what he's looking for.
Yep.
I don't know what Amari's looking for. Do you know?
No, I haven't looked figure wise at what he's looking for either. And maybe that Broncos think that they've had enough, they have enough at the wide receiver position, or who knows? I mean, it's just a little shocking to me that we're gonna have football at the end of this month, and those two guys are still unsigned. So that's a big question mark to me: is why those two particular players have not been signed by a team yet. Do people just think that they're past their prime? Are they asking too much? I need to look a little bit more into that because I don't know why.
I think once we get to week 2 of the preseason, one of them will definitely be signed. There'll be an injury somewhere where somebody goes down or someone gets hurt in training camp. And well, from what I know, what Keenan Allen is, he's looking to get paid. This is probably going to be his last 2-year contract.
Right.
So he's looking for one last payday. So is someone willing to give him $25 million a year right now? I don't see many teams looking to do that for Keenan Allen, but I think one of them will be signed by the start of the season.
But yeah, I mean, the team as a whole, I'm really happy that we are a relevant team that had, obviously people are taking us seriously now. And it's been a while since that teams are like, dang, I'm kind of scared of your team. Dang, your team actually might make a run at the division. Your team could make a deep playoff run. Like even just a playoff win. I feel like if we do make the playoffs again and win a playoff game in that first round, I think that says a whole lot about where we're going, the direction we're going.
You
You know
know
what I mean?
what? I would be really happy. How nice would it be to beat Philly?
Yeah.
That's one week I would enjoy on TikTok.
You know what I mean? So yeah, week 5, we go in and beat Philly in Philly.
Ooh,
Man, we might not see a few Eagles fans for a little while.
their heads might start spinning like The Exorcist.
And I know we're making waves because I have people do the predictions of how their schedule is going to go, and they got some of the Eagles fans I know, they're marking down that week 5 game against us as a loss.
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
that's impressive to be a reigning Super Bowl champion and to say you're going to lose at home to our team. That's impressive to me.
yeah, I mean, I think that game's gonna come down to. I'm very interested in that game because I think I'm not sure. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I think that's the real top back we face.
Yeah,
So I don't
exactly.
do against Saquon.
Right, exactly.
And Saquon is very hard to stop.
He's
So
very hard to stop.
I mean, pretty unstoppable. So I'm very curious what we do against him in Philly. So
Yeah.
are you there, brother?
Yeah, sorry. I got a call.
No,
My bad.
no problem.
You see me?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that goes, and
So yeah.
just that one week would be great. So I think I had us through the
You know what I mean?
first.
Yeah. How many games did you
I had us through the first 6 games at like
what's that?
at at a 4-2 start.
Okay. Yeah, I think when we broke the schedule down, I remember you saying that you were thinking like 4-2 to start it off.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna actually let me grab it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually even broke down some of the numbers with someone earlier with JD5 and Bo Nix, and Bo Nix had a very impressive stat line, especially against the Rookie of the Year. For a while there, he was definitely in the running for Rookie of the Year too. I mean, obviously, JD5 had that magnificent run to make it to the NFC Championship game, but yeah, Bo Nix was right there up until the end.
Oh, I'm sorry, Atrain. That's what it is. It's the week 6 game is in London, so it's uh
Philly.
yes, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Chargers, Bengals. We're at home for Tennessee and the Bengals, week 1 and week 4.
Okay.
Then we're going to Eagles. We're going to Eagles, and then we're going to London, and then we're going to, and then we'll be at home for the Giants.
Right.
So we're going from the Jets in London all the way back. So we're going from West Coast to East Coast to London, all the way back to Denver.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's difficult.
That's brutal, and that's going to tell us a lot about our team because yeah, when you get those out of country games, that's definitely that's a lot of travel time, you know?
That week 4 game is a Monday night football game.
Yeah, and then you got prime time on top of that. So nationally televised plus primetime games.
Yeah, so we'll actually be going to Philly on a short week.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
But that'll say a lot about our team. If we can travel to Philly and beat Philly in Philly, I think that oh man, that tells us a lot about our team. You know what I mean?
Yep. So if we can, that's why I said 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, even if I give us a loss to, I mean, you got Titans, you call that a win. Colts, you can call that a win. It's at Chargers. Let's just say loss. We're at home versus Bengals on Monday night.
Right.
So would you give us a win or a loss there?
Against who?
At home Monday night against the
Against
Bengals.
who?
Against the Bengals.
I think
Cincinnati.
we I think we yeah, I think we beat them this time. Yeah, I think we beat them this
Okay,
time.
so that's 3-1. Say a loss to the Eagles, and
Okay.
then Jets, Giants, and Dallas.
Okay. Jets.
So, like I said, 4-2 to start. Oh no, wait, 3-2 to start, and then we could possibly win 3 in a row: Jets, Giants, and Dallas.
Right.
You know, which
Yeah, I think we can definitely make some moves this year
yes, 100%.
and get back to those winning ways. It'd be nice to have another Super Bowl. It was nice to win back to back Super Bowls. 2013, we definitely, yeah, we lost in the Super Bowl, but we
In all
definitely had
realisticness, I mean, if our team works out and say Bo Nix stays the same or even improves a little bit and then
right,
keeps going forward,
right.
how I mean, how far? I mean, how many years do you think till we could possibly get back to the big game?
I think we're about 2 to 3 out still.
Because all our defense is signed through 29.
I mean, it'd be nice to say this year, but I still see us being at least 2 years out.
I see it's like 27.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah. 2 to 3. I mean, let's be realists. Let's not glaze our
Yeah,
team.
no, I'm not glazing. I think 27, 28, we could possibly get there.
we're a playoff team. We're back
Oh,
to being
100% we're a playoff.
we're back to being one of the best teams in the AFC and in the NFL. So it's just I'm happy to be here at this point. I'm happy that our team is making the right strides. We have great ownership now. Um, we don't have to worry about the ownership. Um, we got new jerseys. There's a lot of things that they have done to improve our franchise just through the years, especially under new ownership. So they got us new turf for the field. There's a lot of good stuff coming to the Mile High City and coming from the Denver Broncos, and I just feel like we're back, Southgate. I feel like we are a team to be reckoned with. I think we have the nastiest defense in the league. I think we definitely have the defense to carry us through a lot of games. And Bo Nix is just going to improve and get better from here. And I feel like a couple more pieces, I think we're up there with any other team.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think the whole key is, if as long as Bo Nix wasn't any type of 1 year wonder, which I absolutely don't think he was, we are going to be there.
Exactly.
We are going to be there. I mean, but we do know there are a lot of tough quarterbacks in the AFC.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get through the big. We're gonna have to get through the big four.
Yep.
And obviously, the big four are on our side. They ain't on the NFC side.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, they all are. So, I mean, we're definitely going to have to either go through Patrick, Lamar, Josh, or Joe, maybe two of them.
Right.
That's those guys are going to possibly be in the playoffs every year.
Yeah, a lot of people say that the road to the Super Bowl and the road through the AFC goes through Mahomes, and until that's proven wrong, it's still that way up until now.
It's that way this year. I mean, if he loses this year, then that could go bye-bye. But as of right now, I agree. It does still go Kansas City. If we could start by winning the division, then we get home field on our side.
Yep, and I think that would be huge because you saw what it was like to play the reigning or the current MVP Josh Allen in Buffalo.
Yes.
And have to go on the road and play that game. That game did not work out in our favor. Our backs were against the wall. I think we came out swinging, but obviously, like, we got exposed in certain areas. And I think during the offseason, we definitely added pieces to fix that.
Well, there's one thing I'm happy for, and I know Sean Payton definitely knows what he's doing. That much I can guarantee.
Uh-huh.
Well, Atrain, I think 37 minutes of us going about the Broncos is enough for anybody.
Yep. All right, boss.
Thank you, A-Train.
We'll sign off with the Mile High salute.
Thank you, everybody.
And go Broncos.
Yep.
Not moved. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Check us